I know you've done before. The journaling, the visualizing, the letting go. And I know it gets harder every time that it doesn't show up. But maybe you weren't actually failing. What if it was all actually linking together behind the scenes? Maybe it was all just working out and you weren't supposed to see it yet. Maybe you are the one that actually gets to have it all. Hello, my name is Mariam Davoudi. I'm a medical student in Shahid University in Iran, and I'm going to be a medical doctor very soon. I talk about my experiences, my stories in this channel. So let's start today's video. By the end of this video, you won't questioning if you get to have it all. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are the one that get to have it all. So here's the problem. You have the attention span of a fish. Your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and the belief. It just obeys. So stop waiting for the proof and start giving the orders, because your attention is the real superpower. And truth to be told, you've been spending it like you're broke. And it is not some spiritual woo-woo stuff. It is the real neuroscience. Focused attention increases neuroplasticity and the energy around it, meaning the more obsessed your attention becomes, the more real that thing feels to your nervous system. Therefore, it can become. Because you cannot draw in what you cannot contain. And so, it's much like sunlight and a magnifying glass. If the sunlight is scattered, nothing is going to happen. But if you have that focused attention, that focused sunlight, you can burn a hole through your reality. Neville Goddard has said, your attention is forceful in proportion of the narrowness of its focus. Really let just that sentence sink in for a moment, because that sentence gives you the key to your own universe. Your attention is forceful in proportion to the narrowness of its focus. This is why when people come and work with me and they have 200 things on their list of what they are looking to create, I want to delete all of that and get straight to the core. If you have a high and strong concept of yourself, such as I always get what I want, naturally all of these things are byproducts of that self-concept. And when you directly focus on your self-concept, your confidence, and what you expect from yourself and the world, naturally those 200 things end up being drawn to you anyway. And so a real flex is to be able to ignore anything that isn't your desired assumption. And notice how I said desired assumption, because naturally your dominant assumption could be something that you don't want in the real life. So I don't want to say that you should ignore everything except your dominant assumption, because maybe your dominant assumption is something that you don't want and it is where you don't want to be. But your dominant assumption should be something like, I get what I want. I always get what I want. Things always work out for me. I'm the best at what I do. Magical things happen to me every day. Miracles are drawn to me now. Isn't it wonderful? Opportunities are flying to my life today. That should be your most dominant assumption, the most ideal dominant assumption. And so you want to ignore everything in your reality that isn't that. And that's not illusion, that's creation. You are creating what you want by starving what you don't want. How? Through focus. And so to increase your focus, we have an exercise, and it is leaf exercise. And it is that you have to visualize whatever you want. If you want to visualize your life with your SP, if you want to visualize a lot of money that you have, if you want to visualize your perfect job, your perfect relationship, your perfect friendship, and you have to close your eyes and imagine whatever you want in details, and then loop it over and over again. So you make a video in your mind about whatever you want, a really short scene, and you start looping it in your mind over and over again. For example, I want my dream home. I close my eyes and imagine the walls, the picture on the walls, and I'm walking in my home. I'm going to make some tea for myself. I get my mug, get my cup, and go and see the scene, the city scene in front of me from my house's window. And it is really pleasant to me when I start to imagine it, and I'm going to loop it over and over again. So I close my eyes and imagine whatever I want and make a short video and start to loop it over and over again. It is so powerful because you start to live that moment for 1,000 times. And everything that I have created through my mind, which has been an awful lot, have been through many boring and many repetitive scenes in my mind. So this is why it is too imperative to have that focus. And Neville Goddard has said something that has stuck with me ever since I have read him years ago, which is leave the mirror and change your face. And so what if this time it actually did work? Because you left the mirror and changed your face. And I will give you an example of how I did this recently. So you remember my thesis and my professor that I mentioned 1,000 times in this channel? And my thesis and everything about my graduation wasn't in the way that I want. You know, forgetting my power for a second and being a victim is what we talk about it in this channel, and we don't do this in this channel, being a victim and forgetting our power. But it's normal, you forget in the heat of things. And I was like, okay, I'm tired, I'm done, and I don't want this anymore. Okay, I don't want to be graduate anymore. And I said to myself, wait a second, leave the mirror, leave how they are showing up for you, leave how your graduation and your thesis is going, and change yourself, change the way you are seeing things. How I am showing up for myself. Am I showing up as someone who is graduated, who has her thesis in the best way? Am I showing up for myself and believe that? When I was able to leave the mirror and what they are doing and start to change my face, thesis ended well without even I lift my little finger. And this is the real power of changing the concept of yourself, leaving the mirror, the people, the situations, the circumstances, things, what they said, what they didn't say, and changing your face, changing yourself. How are you showing up for yourself? What is your self-concept about that thing, about that relationship, about that job, about that friendship, about your parents, about everything? What is your self-concept about them? Are you showing up as someone who has the best job? Are you showing up as someone who is in the best relationship? Are you showing up as someone who ended their thesis? Are you showing up as someone who has a lot of money? Are you showing up as someone who has a big business? What is your beliefs about relationships, about money, about your job, about your environment? You really have to decide that what is it you want and show up as that person now. For example, I want a big YouTube channel. I want to be able to help a lot of people when I'm talking about my stories and my experiences, and I'm showing up as the person who turn on the camera and start talking about my things, about my experiences, about what I learned in life. And that's the time when you really can say that it worked. This time, because I decided that I am the one that got it all, I actually got it all. And that's how we do it, by leaving the mirror and changing your face. And so your mindset arrangement is the inner structure of your beliefs, your assumption, your reactions, your reality, and it's what determines the blueprint that your life has been built around. And so ask yourself, what are you building? What can you leave in your world today? And what can you change internally? What what can you do before this video ended to shift your reality? And something that can really help you is to anchoring in the belief that you will get whatever you want. You always get what you want. What if you always get what you want? Try it for the next 7 days and ask yourself, what does it feel to have it all? Gradually, your brain is going to say it back to you. And this is how powerful we are. I hope this video was useful for you. I love you guys. See you in the next video. Bye!